The Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 8, Coda. The mid-season finale of The Walking Dead Season 5, Coda, delivers a gut-wrenching and action-packed episode as Rick's group confronts Dawn Lerner and her officers at Grady Memorial Hospital. Packed with emotional stakes and shocking twists, this episode leaves a lasting impact on the series. Plot summary. The episode begins with Officer Lamson attempting to escape after betraying Sasha in the previous episode. Rick, determined not to let Lamson compromise their mission, chases him down in a squad car. When Lamson refuses to surrender, Rick coldly runs him over, showcasing his increasingly ruthless leadership style. Rick executes Lamson, setting a grim tone for the episode and solidifying his resolve to protect his group at all costs. Meanwhile, at Grady Memorial, Beth continues to care for Carol, who remains unconscious. Dawn Lerner becomes increasingly suspicious of Beth's loyalty, sensing her growing defiance. Their power struggle becomes more pronounced as Beth subtly challenges Dawn's authority, revealing cracks in the hospital's oppressive system. Rick and the group regroup to finalize their plan to rescue Beth and Carol. With the help of Noah, they orchestrate a prisoner exchange, offering to return 2 captured officers in exchange for their friends. Despite reservations, Rick insists on avoiding unnecessary bloodshed, wanting to resolve the situation as peacefully as possible. At the church, Michonne, Carl, and Judith discover Father Gabriel returning after his escape. Gabriel, having seen firsthand the horrors outside, finally begins to understand the group's brutal methods. However, walkers follow Gabriel back to the church, forcing the trio to fight their way out. They manage to escape and reunite with Abraham's group, who have returned in their fire truck just in time to clear the horde. Together, they head to Atlanta to join Rick. The prisoner exchange takes place in the hospital corridor, with both sides tense and on edge. Rick offers Officer Shepard and Officer Licari in return for Beth and Carol. Dawn agrees to the trade, but at the last moment, she demands that Noah be returned to her custody. The group is outraged, but Dawn insists that Noah belongs to her system. Reluctantly, Noah agrees to go, sacrificing his freedom to prevent further conflict. Beth, devastated by the injustice, confronts Dawn. In an act of defiance, Beth stabs Dawn with a pair of scissors she had hidden in her cast. Dawn reflexively shoots Beth in the head, killing her instantly. The group is stunned as Daryl immediately retaliates, shooting Dawn and ending her reign of terror. The hospital descends into chaos as both sides grapple with the aftermath. The episode ends on a somber note as Rick's group leaves the hospital carrying Beth's body. Maggie collapses in grief upon seeing her sister, her devastation mirrored by the group's collective sorrow. The camera lingers on Daryl, who is visibly broken by the loss of Beth, one of the few people he allowed himself to care deeply about. In the final scene, Morgan is seen following the group's trail, symbolizing hope and the possibility of new alliances amid the heartbreak. Key themes: loss and grief. Beth's death underscores the fragility of life in the apocalypse and the devastating toll it takes on the survivors. The group's grief highlights their deep connections and the emotional cost of their journey. Morality versus survival. Rick's execution of Lamson and the tense prisoner exchange illustrate the blurred lines between morality and pragmatism. The group's decisions are shaped by their need to survive, even at great personal cost. Defiance and sacrifice. Beth's final act of defiance is a powerful moment of self-assertion, even though it tragically leads to her death. Her actions reflect the enduring struggle for agency and justice in a world that often denies both. Leadership and power. Dawn's downfall is a result of her inability to balance control and compassion, serving as a cautionary tale about the dangers of authoritarian leadership. Character development. Beth Green. Beth's growth as a character culminates in this episode, as she asserts herself against Dawn and sacrifices her life to make a statement about freedom and justice. Rick Grimes. Rick's pragmatic approach to leadership continues to evolve, as he prioritizes the group's survival over moral hesitation. Daryl Dixon. Daryl's emotional reaction to Beth's death reveals his vulnerability and his deep sense of loyalty to those he cares about. Maggie Green. Maggie's grief over Beth's death adds emotional weight to the episode, highlighting the devastating impact of loss on the group. Dawn Lerner. Dawn's manipulative leadership and inability to adapt ultimately lead to her downfall, serving as a contrast to Rick's approach. Memorable moments. Rick's cold and calculated execution of Officer Lamson, showcasing his transformation into a ruthless leader. The tension-filled prisoner exchange at the hospital, culminating in Beth's shocking death. Daryl's immediate and emotional retaliation against Dawn, reflecting his loyalty and heartbreak. Maggie's collapse upon seeing Beth's body, a heartbreaking moment of loss. The final scene with Morgan, hinting at his re-entry into the group's story. Conclusion. Coda is a powerful and emotionally devastating episode that serves as a fitting mid-season finale. It balances intense action with deep character moments, delivering one of the series' most shocking and memorable deaths. Beth's tragic end marks a turning point for the group, pushing them further into darkness while underscoring the importance of their bonds. With its blend of heartbreak, suspense, and impactful storytelling, Coda remains one of The Walking Dead's most unforgettable episodes.